Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. You seen what he did on Facebook, right? And they said, I'm gonna make a motherfucking emoji like this, look.
ThaBoxingvoice production.
ThaBoxingvoice.com. All the guys want, I want what Mayweather got. I want what Mayweather got. You done bust your ass like Mayweather.
It was born to fight.
My life has always been a fight. I sacrificed a lot to get to where I got to. You don't think you're being overly critical to a guy that took a body shot and didn't go down?
There's no question. That's just my style. My style is to dominate. I want to get the guy. I want to stop the guy. My motto is man down.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Why you mad?
I'm not saying the man can't take body shots. Wait for motherfucking Mark.
I'm not saying a man can't take a body shot because he didn't go down. That's for sure. ThaBoxingvoice.com. We are back with your evening dinner. And if you're on the East Coast like me, nightcap edition of the Boxing Voice. We're going to be talking a little Saul Canelo Alvarez, Julio Cesar Chavez, and the strength and conditioning coach of Julio Cesar Chavez, Memo Angel Heredia. One strength and conditioning coach who is very hip to the game.
Notorious.
Very knowledgeable when it comes to
Infamous.
the strength and conditioning aspect of the sport, and he has some interesting things to say. He has the heavier fighter in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., notoriously has always come in heavier than Canelo Alvarez throughout his boxing career. Yet, Memo Heredia is saying that he expects Canelo to be heavier than Chavez on fight night. But I got to ask my co-host all the way in the Golden State, how is that possible?
ThaBoxingvoice production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
Fuck that. Conor McGregor. ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rope into a knockout. When the main thing is, I just want the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, the Hipster's back on a nighttime edition of TBV. And it's interesting because most people, when this fight was announced, thought that Chavez was going to have issues making the weight. He might not be able to make the fight because of the weight, because he's so big, he's so massive. And yet we have Chavez's own coach saying, nope, Chavez is going to come in at 181, 182, and Canelo comes in 25 pounds heavier. So that's 185 plus. I mean, this is something that we really didn't think about. And, when you have the picture of them facing off with Chavez so much taller, it's even hard to get to wrap your mind around the concept of Canelo being the heavier guy in the ring against the much taller and seemingly bigger Chavez. So it's just interesting to me, and I can't wait to delve into it.
Well, Angel Memo Heredia, the strength and conditioning coach of Julio Cesar Chavez, is aiming to have Chavez come in around about 182 once he steps into the ring. Both his father, Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., and Nacho Beristain believe that when Chavez is about 184, 185 is when he's at his best. So they're targeting a couple of pounds lighter than that. What do you think about that? I mean, where is the data to prove that he is going to be any better at under 184? I mean, he weighed under 184 when he was stopped by Andre Fonfora.
I mean, there's really no data behind it. It's a calculated risk or thought by Memo, and like you brought up at the very beginning of the show, Memo knows his shit. You know, whatever we want to talk about when we mention Heredia's name, the guy at least knows strength and conditioning in a way that me and you just will never understand. Like, that's just a fact. All of our listeners, like, they just can't understand strength and conditioning the way that Memo Heredia does. So I may take his word for it that 181 to 182 is the optimal weight for Chavez in this particular fight, but he is still a coach, and Heredia has always been one to throw out quotes to the media that he knows will create headlines. You know, he's smart about that. He's savvy in that way, and that's what this is to me. You know, I seriously doubt Canelo's going to come in heavier than Chavez. Like, every part of my being says that's just not true. I bet they might come in at actually around a similar weight, but any sort of significant amount of weight more, no, that just doesn't seem true. I met Canelo. You know, he's 2 inches smaller than me. He does seem big, but I mean, he doesn't seem like 190 plus. He seems like a 175 to 185 pound man walking around, and that's what I'm going to assume Canelo comes in, is that 10-pound range, which really doesn't matter if it's on the high end or the low end, in my opinion. And I really seriously doubt Chavez is going to make 181 or 182. I assume that he's going to jump up 20, 25 pounds at least as well. I think both guys are going to balloon up for fight night.
Now, in the case of Canelo Alvarez, it's Heredia's opinion. Let's get that straight. It's his opinion that although Canelo is small, he's stocky, and he feels that he usually rehydrates to about 20 to 25, not just 25, Matt, 20 to 25. But again, no data to prove this. And the major part of this headline is that Heredia feels Canelo would be heavier. He goes as far as to give a weight. He says he feels Canelo's going to weigh above 185 pounds. Now, we've known Canelo to be up as high as 174. Matt, outside of Angel Memo Heredia being obviously a chemist, because that's what he does get credit for. He's a chemist. He went to school for this. You know, he knows the science behind the nutrition. But does that give him, I guess, the right, the leeway to throw around actual number weights? It's kind of,
I think with obviously Chavez,
not even in that camp, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with Chavez, he's completely within his right to throw out numbers if he wants, 100%. Talking about Canelo specifically, I think it's sort of his job to theorize this stuff as well. You know, this is all strategy at the end of the day. You know, are you planning to be the lighter guy in the ring or the heavier guy in the ring? Well, that plays into how your tactics and your strategy is within the fight itself. So this does matter. So if they're thinking, let's get Chavez on fight night at a lighter weight than Canelo, I mean, then that makes sense why he's throwing out specific numbers. Or you're like me and think that he's throwing out these numbers just to create storylines, just to create headlines. That's my personal take on it.
You know, I can't deny that could be true, Matt. It could be true that he's trying to make headlines. I mean, just think about it. The fad of strength and conditioning coaches really hit big with Alex Ariza. And then quickly, obviously, Memo followed. And, you know, so did Victor Conti. And then others emerged. But those three have still remained to be the most popular amongst the boxing community. And I remember interviewing him in Washington, D.C., and him telling me, you know, that he makes champions. He is very bashful. He is one to not shy away from the mic, for sure, for sure. But giving you a quote, and I quote, he is fulfilling the preparation itinerary with great desire, with commendable discipline, and submitting to a balanced diet that is giving great results beyond all the stress that the demand provokes. He's already at 174 to 175 pounds and will get to Las Vegas below 100 170 pounds. Chavez has taken this very seriously and respecting the orders of both myself, his father, and Don Nacho Beristain. That's a very powerful quote for me, man, because I am falling more and more victim to Chavez's
Hype, his buildup.
not his hype, his seriousness, really, like his seriousness. But you know, I was going back and watching some tape. I mean, lesser skilled men have given Chavez issues. Now, it could be argued that he's never been at this level, both in terms of opponent and preparation. So those other fights could be, you know, null and void because of that. We can't really factor those in. But Brian Vera comes to mind over and over. And Canelo Alvarez is no Brian Vera.
Yeah, I mean, Canelo, you can make an argument right now that Canelo has a second ballot Hall of Fame resume. You know, you can make that argument and stretch it. So this is Chavez's biggest fight. And Canelo is, without doubt, a pound-for-pound level talent. I don't think the argument is Canelo much better than Chavez. The answer is obviously yes, that Canelo is levels above Chavez in terms of boxing skill and technique. The question is the size, the durability, this renewed dedication to the sport of Chavez Jr., those X factors that we cannot quantify in any significant way. Are those factors going to turn this fight in a way that is either an upset or makes it closer? You know, and Memo's quotes allude to, and other quotes that in other shows we've done, it seems like it's heading this way, that this fight's going to be a lot closer than what we initially thought when this fight was announced. I think all of us universally thought this was an awful fight. It's a shit fight. It's a farce in every sort of way. But as it's getting closer and closer, you know, even hardcores like me and you, Ness, are getting drawn into the hype and the build-up of this fight. And it's due to those X factors that are seemingly now closer in the advantage of Chavez Jr.
Yeah, Matt, but, you know, as the hipster of the panel, how much should guys like myself, maybe more knowledgeable, maybe less knowledgeable, how much should we be getting caught up in the fact that Chavez is training? I mean, I'm sure Jamal or Jamel Charlo is training this hard. I'm sure that Earl Spence is training this hard, and Kell Brook and Gennady Golovkin, and no one does shows or topics of headlines about their weight. Are we getting caught up in just that, in the fact that the son of a legend is actually doing what he should have been doing all along, but come fight night, it's really not going to mean anything, or does it?
I think that's a valid opinion to have if you or callers or listeners have that opinion. You know, if the idea that, whoa, all this is just all of a sudden, Chavez has never showed this in the ring. He's never showed the level of what Canelo has showed us in the ring. I'm not going to believe this till I see it. I think that's a very fair position to have. I just think that those X factors are things that are valid in this fight. But how much, I think that's for every man to decide. You know, like, I'll be honest, you know, even as the hipster, like you like to call me, you know, I'm starting to lean that this fight's going to be a lot closer than expected. You know, and I was the guy that thought Canelo was going to wipe this guy out when this fight was announced. And now, because those X factors do mean something in this fight particularly to me, and because I think Chavez has at least shown in the build-up to this fight that it's seemingly true, that he is seemingly rededicated to the sport. That doesn't seem to be a lie. The idea that he is thin, that he is lean, those don't seem to be a lie either. So I believe Chavez when he says these things, but I still don't. It still doesn't change my opinion about necessarily who wins. Like I said earlier, there's levels, and Canelo is just levels above Chavez. And I think that term, even though we throw it around a lot and it's sort of lost its meaning, I think is always true. Like, there are levels to this game more so than any other sport. And I think Canelo is just far superior than Chavez.
I think the same. I ask myself over and over, if Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., if I had to pick his best round of his career, it would have to be the 12th round with Sergio Martinez, because that's probably the best opponent he's been in with and the best that he's done versus someone of that level. And I still think to myself, well, can he put on that performance of the 12th round for 12 rounds? And is Canelo not at a different place in his career than where Martinez was when they met? Even though Canelo was across the street fighting Josecito Lopez on that day. But yeah, those are the things I ask myself. Listen, let's jump out to these phone lines. You guys know the number. The call-in number is 1-425-569-5241. Any international callers can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS. Matt, anything before I get out to these callers and sponsors?
No, I'm good. Let's go to the sponsors.
Let's do it.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to Amin in Jersey. What's up, Amin?
You already know. Yeah, you can't slip no shows past me, bro. But listen, I don't. If Canelo's coming in heavier, he knows what he's doing. He's not going to lose any of his boxing ability, even though I understand he's not proficient at moving with that power, that muscle mass. It's going to be a big difference. Chavez is obviously going to be more accustomed to fighting at a heavier weight, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, because even a slow, more flat-footed Canelo is probably a lot better than, a 80% Chavez, in my opinion. So if Canelo does come in heavier, I don't think it'll be a sloppy heavier. He might add too much muscle mass. It might change his range of motion and some other things, but I don't think it's going to be an issue in terms of making it ain't going to give Chavez no advantages.
All right, man. Well, thanks for calling in. Let's keep moving down the line. We're going to head on out to Orlando, Florida. Majid, talk to us.
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm just, I'm happy, excited about the fight. I just wanted to say real quick, that I think when it comes to the boxing, Canelo should be chipping him up. Only thing I'm just worried about is if it going to late rounds, is Canelo going to be able to hold all that muscle and that and his weight? I just wonder how that'll play out if Chavez could take his power shots. But, I think Canelo should win it easy by decision. But I'm just like, on the other side, it could go horribly wrong if that weight, fighting at a high weight class, go wrong. That shit could go real wrong. But that's all I got.
Majid, thanks for calling in. As always, we're going to go out to Josue in Aurora, Oregon. Talk to us.
Hey, Joe, what's up, guys? Yeah, don't be fooled by Chavez's dedication now, man. Chavez is going to be blocking all night, and I can see him getting top. That's all I got, man. Thank you.
All right. He definitely cut out there, but it sounded like he said Chavez is going to be blocking punches in his face. Don't be fooled by his dedication. And that's what I'm asking myself, man. Should I be fooled by the fact that we have a motivated Chavez? Should I be fooled by the fact that there's not enough thumbs up? It doesn't equate to the people watching. Should I be fooled? Should I be fooled into believing that these people, these wonderful people watching you and I, Matt, they don't appreciate enough to hit the thumbs up? Should I be fooled? Is that an indicator of that? Nah, that can't be it. I know those numbers are going to come up. They got to come up. Listen, man. Final thoughts on this. A, Memo Heredia works for Julio Cesar Chavez. So he's going to say shit to have us thinking Canelo might be heavy, might be sluggish, you know? Or like Matt said, B, wants to put his name in the media, stay relevant, you know? But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. Canelo is looking big. He is looking strong. And we'll see just how much oxygen he's going to need for those muscles. And we'll see. Can Chavez produce that 12th round versus he and Sergio Martinez at the opening bell, Cinco de Mayo versus Canelo? I don't know.
My final thoughts are that, yes, this is not the best fight that Canelo can have or Chavez can have. This isn't the best fight in the best. And I've always been, saying that the best should fight the best. So I need to be consistent in that. We should not get hyped by this fight necessarily, but it's not a bad fight. Like whatever version we get on fight night, I think it's going to be entertaining at least. Like Canelo Alvarez versus Liam Smith was entertaining, even though it was it was not a great fight in terms of the rankings. We want Canelo versus Triple G. And until we get that, nothing satisfies the boxing fans, in my opinion. And nothing's going to satisfy us either. But in the meantime, we get this. So I'm going to be happy about it. I'm going to be positive about it because this is the sport that we love. And this is still not a bad fight. This is a fight that if Triple G didn't exist, this is the fight that we would want to see. This is that Mexican versus Mexican rivalry.
Hey, Matt, do you think Chavez can knock out Canelo? Does that possibility exist?
Yes, he can. But do we want to go to Compa? Compa just jumped on the line.
Go to him.
What up? What up, Boxing Voice? I just want to say, what's up, Matt? What's up, Ness?
Compa, what up?
Yeah, what up? Nah, man, I just want to say, I'm excited for the fight. Canelo Chavez, biggest fight of the year. And, I'm excited that the fight's finally happened. It's been brewing on for a few years already. And that's pretty much it. Looking out, Boxing Voice, Hippity Hipster, what up? Looking out.
Hippity Hipster, what up? Oh, hilarious. Yeah, man. Listen, I am your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on the gram at NestGTO or catch me on the Twitter at NestGTO. Texas, we will be coming to a city near you. So all our Texas listeners out there, man, definitely get at us on social media. We're looking to hook up.
Next, I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it, Texas, but we're coming out to your neck of the woods. You missed it, but we're coming out to your neck of the woods. But yeah, I mean, hey Mario, let them know where they can find you when you're not on the show.
At Mario Munguia at Yahoo. At Mario Munguia on Twitter and IG at Mario Munguia. And my Tinder. No, I'm just kidding.
What the fuck?
I almost said it. That's why I was like, did they catch it? I'll just make a joke about it. Yeah, and that's about it.
That's why he
go back and listen because
date.
I
really
Tinder dates, man. It's okay. We don't judge, Mario.
Hey, listen, I'm not gonna lie. I got on Tinder a little late. I think it's like a negative connotation when you're 30. People just automatically swipe left and think you're a liar. But yeah, I'm very interested to hear what y'all had to say. I'm really, really disappointed that I missed the show because I was very interested to hear what y'all had to say. But I'll go back and listen to the playback.
Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We're probably going to be doing a film study review on the Anthony Joshua Vladimir Klitschko Behind the Gloves, which Matt is recommending highly. Shout out to Roos in the UK who sent me the link recommending highly as well. So we'll get to that. And remember, You can always get more exclusive content never before seen on Patreon. Support us on Patreon, which is basically the engine to this car that is TBV. Speaking of TBV, we will be in a city near you. We're coming to Dallas Monday. The Hipster, myself, Doomsday. We're going to take a trip. We're going to see some fighters out there. We're going to see some TBV listeners. I don't know. I might have a shirt for you. I might not. I might have a WBC pin.
You got a hat for me?
I might. I don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is we're out.
Peace.